All right, welcome to the Monday Night Men's Forum. I am Matt of Farm Hop Life. Tonight we have John, Amber Oaks Ranch, Grant, Homestead of Pain, and Christopher of SecureCoop.com. How's it going, guys?
All right.
Your bed's
All right.
not made, Matt.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, I'm gonna have a
custom background.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a fancy background. All right, let's do some personal events real quick. Oh, and Jeremy's jumped in. John, go ahead.
Let me think. Our partner farm, their cow was giving birth, and things didn't go well, and the cow and the calf died. So that was a pretty traumatic event. If you read our newsletter, there's a nice little tribute written up to Elsie, the miniature Jersey, and unfortunately, it's going to put an impact on our customers as our milk herd share is going to be a little bit jeopardized until they can find some replacement cows. But those things happen on the farm, right? So
Right.
I think it's important that people are aware of the circle of life and death, and that things go poorly for the farmer, and most folks don't ever hear about those things and take them into consideration. So
Yeah. So you were partnering up with this other ranch to provide milk to your customers as well.
Yeah, so we're their outlet for raw milk.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they supplement our egg operation.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So we have laying hens, but not enough to service our customers. And they're Sour Sustainable Farms, if anybody's interested. They're about 15 minutes from us, and they have coon pigs, miniature jerseys, and laying hens and ducks. And so they provide us duck eggs, chicken eggs, and raw milk.
Okay, nice. That's kind of nice that you guys can partner together and provide more options and just more
we have a lot
volume
of people asking for raw milk. You can only buy raw milk on the farm in Texas. So you have to buy it direct from the farm, and so you can deliver it to farmers markets and such as that, but the purchase has to be made either at the farm or prearranged, and so it's hard for customers to find dairies, right? And so these folks had excess milk, and we thought, well, we can help them get rid of that and provide a service to our customers.
Nice. Everything switched around, I think. Grant.
I think my only personal thing of note would be is I've been swiping ducks from parks. Yeah.
Like
I forgot about that.
So hold on, like duck napping.
I mean, this is how I view it. These ducks are domestic.
Gonna justify it now.
These ducks are domesticated. Do it. Oh my! Hey, one walked up to me, and I just grabbed him, picked him up. They don't make a noise. Nothing. I just picked him up, and I'm like, these ducks will live 1, 2, 3 years, thrown out there at a park. Most of the time,
nuisance at the park too. So
most of the time, they lower the water quality. It's too much pressure on the water, and then they're gonna die. They're supposed to live 8 to 12 years. My girlfriend likes ducks, so I'm now leading a campaign at 3 parks to take 23 ducks.
A campaign.
That's what I'm calling it. That's what I am calling it. There's like 14. There's 14 Pekins, one huge Muscovy Drake, and then 3 black and white ones, and then a brown one.
Nice. That is really funny.
I feel like there's like some really a good campaign name there somewhere, and I just can't pinpoint it quite yet. Nabaduck.
I haven't full swing gone out in the daylight with a net yet. I've been scouting it out.
Oh, you've been doing it under the cover of dark.
But see, the thing is, it doesn't work at night because they can't exactly see the food, and they get scared pretty easily. So if you try to,
you gotta sneak up from behind them like I do with my chickens, but I have to chase every night.
Yeah, but they get in the water real fast. So what I'm probably gonna do is start hitting them up in the morning at like 7:00 in the morning, and then just catching 3 of them in a net at a time, putting them in a pet carrier, and then leaving. Do I need these ducks? No, I don't need ducks.
You're
It's just
doing a
something
service to the community.
It's something else to feed. I figured if 8
have
of them are I don't need these ducks. It's just something else I have to feed. But like, why
Well, I mean,
not?
you can keep to their average lifespan and just process them and eat them.
Yeah, I was going to probably do that with the drakes. It's always good to have something that can lay an egg.
You have a cat too if you want.
Yeah, look, you give me your 2 cats, I'll give you 5 pigs.
Can I help you?
That
That sounds like a great deal. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll take no.
You eat Jeremy?
these
You gonna
pigs-
eat that cat?
These pigs are Juliana Cooney.
My wife would kill me. I like the cats. I really do like the
These
cats.
pigs are. They've honestly probably been the worst mistake I've made. I was paid
Pigs?
in these pigs.
I remember that.
And it's honestly been a pain. It's been fun. It's been a good experience.
Homestead of pain.
They're making me
Mhm.
compost. They've turned like 3 round bales of hay into good, compostable material
It's
in
a
their
wise
little
mistake.
their pen. They're getting big. Well, I accidentally
Getting
got
big,
bread.
it means it's time to eat them.
Accidentally got bread. So then I've got
Why would
4
you
more.
do that to your pigs? Why did you breed your own pigs? That's gross.
I didn't do it personally. I left that up to
okay.
their brother, which again, I didn't. I intended fully to flip these animals and just get them around and sell them.
Well,
Nobody
you tried
really
to
wants.
give them to me.
I have tried to give them to you. So I started
I don't
I
have
started
room
with
for them.
7 pigs. 2 of them I want because they're Ossabaw. It's a heritage breed. I want to mix those with Berkshires when I end up doing pork. And so then I ended up having these. I traded 2 20-pound pigs for 2 180-pound pigs, and then I was left with 4. And then those 4 turned into 8, and then I got rid of the 2 males.
Okay, so here's what you do: you take the ducks, but replace them with pigs, and so like you're just
I don't know.
you're just
I don't know
putting
about
pigs
that.
in the water and just letting them go.
I don't know if the park will appreciate me throwing pigs.
It's not
there.
you're
You
doing
think
it
they
under the cover
appreciate
of
you
night.
taking-
They're
Well,
not
you know what I
ducks?
could do is I could take the ducks, throw them in with the pigs, and then just feed them all together, and then the pigs could eat the duck poop and all that.
They will.
Sure.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They'll basically process it a second time. So yeah, hopefully I'm holding out to hopefully we get this property, and then I can put those pigs to work and transform the land. It's so much work.
You know
But
that someone's always selling or getting rid of pigs. So like you could get rid of the pigs and just bring in new pigs when the property does happen instead of like someday.
Well, it will be before we will know before December.
All right. How big are these pigs? Like are they like? I don't know a whole lot about pigs.
4 of them
except for,
are 8
eat 'em,
weeks
but, like,
old.
So it's tiny.
So like, but like
Yeah.
like sell the pig to be process it and sell the meat.
They're tiny.
Too much.
If they're Julian Cooney's crosses, they're like
Yeah.
not even full size.
They're like hamsters.
Yeah, they're like hamsters.
No,
Never mind.
they're
See, I don't know
honestly
much. I don't know enough about pigs.
they're maybe 120 pounds. On but their condition has also gone down through
Just sell them as fat dogs.
they're like 2 weeks past when I need to wean them, so I'm gonna weaning them tomorrow. Then I'm gonna feed them back up,
So-
and then probably end
so-
up processing them out at home as just experimental, just like learn how
Roast them whole.
to do it.
That's probably the best, wisest thing to do.
I'd have to get the hair off of them.
Scald and scrape
Okay.
them.
Well, you know what? Then I'll probably do that because
Yeah,
these
you
are
can
much
sell
more
them
manageable.
roasters.
All right. I don't know anybody who'd want to do that.
Where do you live?
Bartow County, Georgia.
Look, man,
Okay.
you kill one and roast it. I'll come over there and help you eat it.
Why don't you come help me scrape it and then we can eat
I'll
it?
do that too. I'll do that too. We can make a TikTok. No, we can't.
I mean,
They won't. They'll
Oh,
get
We
that's
can-
true. They won't.
we
let you
can do
that.
it. We can do a
Blur.
TikTok of before,
Big old
like
blur.
the pig. Tell them how we're gonna scrape it. We're gonna
put on
dunk this
YouTube.
guy in boiling water, and then scrape him. But-
No, you know how many followers I'd lose if I did that.
Wham,
I got
wham.
a lot of. Hey, look, dude, I've lost like 500 followers in the last 30 days. Like
Okay.
net.
How much money have you got?
like $40. That's better than nothing. I'm not complaining.
Why are you losing? I saw you were shadow
That's
banned.
what I'm trying to figure out.
I've been reposting all your stuff.
So
I don't know what that
That's
does.
why.
That's why.
Your fault.
I mean, I literally
really
just
have no
started.
So technically, I looked it up earlier.
This is Jeremy's personal event. He lost 500 followers.
No, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, you got 250,000. What's 500? But it's still like it's still like I'm like, but why? Why am I like I want to? I'm a people pleaser. Like I want to gain that following, not lose it. And no, but I looked it up earlier, and it's looked at the analytics, and I'm technically not shadow banned, but I don't know, like just TikTok's not pushing my content, so.
Yeah,
maybe
the coolest thing a
their
TikToker
lives.
can do is complain about them losing followers. That's like the coolest thing they could do.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yeah.
No, I might do it then. just because. No, personal event. We got our cow. That was awesome. Like
You got a cow?
They cut it
half a cow.
in half.
Meat. Okay.
You got a half cow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we split it with a friend, and I've got an upright 18 cubic, 20 cubic, something like that foot freezer.
Nice.
And it is stocked full of beef and pork.
Do
And
you mind
it's a
me
good
asking
feeling.
how much did it cost to get that half cow?
$1,400.
That's
Okay.
like steel.
That
$7.
It's a
$7
steal. I sell
$7
mine
a pound.
for about $2,200
For a half or a whole?
for a half. Sold 2 halves.
Is that including the butchering prices? Cost?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
whole thing.
turnkey delivered to your freezer.
Yeah, we bought a whole
Now, like
cow.
now, I had to go. Like we had to source it from the farmer,
Mm-hmm.
and then he uses a processor, and so
Yep.
we had to do a lot of like the running around. Now, obviously, we didn't transport the cow to the processing facility, but
It'd be a mess if you only had to transport half.
jeez, man, can't take you nowhere.
Right?
But you had to go.
I had to go pick it up. Yeah, like it didn't show. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
and it was like 3 trips to go out there to pay a deposit to go out there and meet people. We could have done it in 2 trips technically, but
I do
like
everything. I do everything online. You don't have to leave your home.
and now these guys could probably
For Jeremy, that's worth $2,200.
No, if you got $1,400, I would have driven too.
out of here. No, but here's the thing: like I wanted to see the facility, like I wanted to see the cows, like I wanted.
No,
to
that's a good
go out
idea.
there and it was pretty cool. Like we got to, if you saw my Instagram post, the 2 cows that were the second picture, it was one of those 2 cows. We don't know which one. I mean, so there's that, and then that was pretty cool. And then we got chicken live stream up and running this week. So
I did comment to saying that it was working. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, and I think I liked it. But
So
joined
how's
to the left.
the reception?
it's it's interesting. Like yesterday and today, there was like 2 to 5 viewers all day long, like on and off. Just like people come in and out through a live. Like you start mindlessly scrolling on TikTok. But Saturday there was like 4,400 followers total or watchers total.
During the day?
During the day on Saturday morning, really. But like at one point, the most people that were in there was 101 people in there watching it. Watching my rooster, do his business, make his rounds in the morning. But but I mean, it's like Saturday morning, it was a consistent 20 or 30 up to 100, for
Nice.
a while there, and which was kind of cool though because TikTok was actually pushing my stuff on Saturday, which blows my mind because like up until Saturday, my stuff was just dead. I mean, I say dead. I mean, I'm getting 2,000 to 6,000 views on a video, whereas used to it was like 10 to 200,000 views on a video. Now it's 1,000 to 5,000 or 6,000, but then like Saturday was like 50,000. And then like after Saturday's just been dead. But like I ended up making like $28 off of video views just on Saturday. So like it's pretty cool. Like you can, if you have videos that get good views,
Yeah.
you can actually make a decent. It comes down to about $1 to $1.50 per 1,000 views.
I'm just gonna set up a live stream of me working out in the yard.
But see, like I'm not making anything
yeah,
off the
like-
live stream right now, though.
Oh,
That's off the creator fund. The
maybe I'll get 28 million followers in a single day off of a live stream. So, anyways,
might.
moving on. Christopher,
take your shirt off and maybe you will. Who knows? Like Thorin, what's the guy that chops wood? Thorin or something like that. Just sit out there, just chop wood all
who
day.
wants to see bad tattoos?
Not me. Actually, maybe we can make fun of you.
Yeah. Personal event. We got a hurricane bearing down in our direction, and yeah, and it's if the path continues like it does, they always shift around. But if it continues like it does, it'll pass 75 feet. Not feet, 75 miles. 75 miles. To,
Damn, that's accurate.
It's gonna pass about 75 feet from my house.
75 miles away, and as a category 1 or 2, which means we might see 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds and 70, 80, maybe even 100 gusts. So, it could take down some power and take down some limbs. Big thing about tornadoes or about hurricanes is the tornadoes. For us, we're not close enough to the beach. We're not worried about flooding or the direct wind. It's just like the tornadoes that they always spin up. So we got to keep our eyes on that. But the other thing I saw, I went out. It's like, okay, we're about to have a hurricane. Let's go down the checklist. Turn on the generator and make sure it works. And the big main RV has a built-in generator, and it would not fire up. And so if we cannot get that working and we lose power, we'll have no air conditioner. We'll have fans. I have another generator. I've got plenty of inverters, so we've got options. It's just we wouldn't have enough power to run the air conditioner. So, but yeah, crap. Got some that. I was revisiting in my mind the live stream that you and I all did, Matt, with your generator. So like,
Oh yeah,
what did Matt do?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so I got popped down to the parts store, picked up a can of that spray starter.
yeah.
And just before tonight's show, I went squirted into the into the inlet there, and it did fire up on that, but it won't sustain. So it tells me I've got some kind of fuel blockage.
Yeah, I used the whole can on that video.
Yeah?
Like,
Yeah.
I just kept going.
So we got some kind of like, maybe I'll check the fuel filter. I'll pull the line off to make sure I've got pressure. I don't know what else it could be. It's been sitting in there with ethanol gas, and I was kind of concerned about the carburetor, but that's fine. So I don't know.
How do you know it's fine?
Because it fired up.
No. You're putting fuel through the airstream. Your jets.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it still could be the jet.
Can you elaborate? What is that for people that are stupid like me? What does that mean?
Well, you have if it's a typical gasoline unit, I'm assuming it's not propane.
Yeah, it's gas.
Yeah. So you got a float bowl, and that float bowl gets varnished over with contaminants and stuff, right? And then there's little valves, little needle valves, and then you've got your venturi ports that get clogged up with crud. And so it could be your fuel pump, it could be your fuel itself, but if you've let ethanol fuel sit in there for too long, it's probably your carburetor.
Yeah. And what John was saying about, because I was spraying it, is doing the job of the venturi and doing the job of the carburetor by spraying it in there. It didn't even occur to me, but yeah. So, so it could be the carburetor.
Drop the float bowl and see if it's varnished and whatnot, and then there's a little needle valve in there. That's usually the first thing that gets gummed up.
Okay. I gotta find it. I couldn't even see it, so I don't know. I'll pick it apart.
Let's fix the generator part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a personal event. I'm out of time for work.
Well, I have another one.
All right, go ahead. You can steal my spot.
I'm a grandfather again.
Yeah. All right.
So my son and his wife had a baby girl. Their third. The third child. The former 2 were our boys. So, first girl.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old is your son?
27.
All right.
Born in
Nice.
96, so I don't know what that makes him.
Okay, yep. So
Yeah, 57, yeah.
so his first two are boys, you said?
Yeah.
All right, perfect segue. Thanks. So tonight's topic, Boys to
It
Men.
is. I
Not the
waited
band.
for that, by the way.
Thanks for the alley oop. I don't know if I've actually ever heard a song by Boys to Men, but
What?
at the end of not what we're talking about, Jeremy. Calm down. At the end of last episode, we talked about like John had touched on
Little boys.
I was trying to steer out of it and I couldn't.
Terrible phrasing there.
Yeah.
Touched on. Come on.
Like how do we raise the next generation of men?
Grant just finally got that.
And before we even started tonight, John again brought up. He's like, I feel bad for you guys trying to raise children like currently. And so, John, why don't you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, it was really like, how do you prepare your boys or girls, for that matter, professionally, right, for a future profession? How do you steer and guide their development, their interests, their education for a well-functioning job, income, etc., in a future that changes hourly, basically,
Mhm.
right? And so for my parents, you know, things were a lot different. It was pretty, you know, it wasn't exponential, the change, right? It was a continual growth. But now with technology, automation, all of this other stuff, we don't know what tomorrow is even going to look like. So,
well, I'm glad you asked. Did anybody watch the video I sent?
Yeah, I did. That kid.
All right, let's pull it up.
oh,
let's
Cole,
pull it up
yeah,
and share.
yeah.
Not Cole Summers.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about him in a minute, but share
That's,
screen.
yeah, the guy the kid that works on cars. I've seen his stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, he actually got banned.
Yeah, him. I've seen him.
What? What?
This kid.
Can you guys see this?
Yeah, I did
Yeah, I
see
can't
that.
hear
Can you
it.
hear it?
No
No.
idea.
No, you can't hear it.
No, I
Yes.
cannot hear it.
Oh god damn it!
We
Why
can
does it
read.
do this every time? Every time it does
Yeah,
this.
it's got words.
It does have words. All right, we'll write it.
They can read the subtitles.
All right, so
But so you're saying this kid got banned?
yeah,
He's working on a ranchero. Yep.
working on a ranchero.
How do you get
I bet he
banned?
could
Had,
fix your carburetor, Christopher.
How did he get banned?
I don't know. So he said, for those that are just listening, his dad said he could have any car in the junkyard, if he could fix it. So he picked this Ranchero and
Good choice.
he put a battery in it and jumped it and he's getting it to run.
He's fixing
So-
the hot wire, right?
Yeah, that's what he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said that he had to do. So he's got it running, and then in like the next video, he had like 4 flat tires or something like that. So he had to fix all that.
So can I be like the bad guy here?
Fine.
Yeah. Let's go.
There's a part of it. This is pure speculation. It's not founded on any basis. But I see videos like that, and I view everything online with skepticism.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know where you're going. I was
skepticism.
thinking the same thing.
And I've seen so many parents that will make use of their kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kid might be phenomenal at working on cars. He might be very mechanically inclined. That story may be completely true. But then there's also the side of this that says, well, what if his dad's like, well, hey, do this and say this, and I'll record it, and we'll get a bunch of millions and
Okay.
millions of followers.
Let's table that. That's not even what we're talking about today. Like,
I know. But
I was thinking the same
Like,
thing.
but I view
let's go
everything.
white pill. Let's go white pill.
But I'll
right?
say, hold on.
How do you
real
make
quick.
your kids like that kid? Like, I'm gonna go fix that car. Like, it's not running, and so like,
Well,
oh,
I mean,
no battery in
if
it.
you're what Jeremy's saying is, you would tell them to go fix that car and how to fix it. Tell them what to say. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Yeah, we're getting away from that.
No,
I don't think you guys understand the yeah, okay, so there's the attitude, right, that you can go out and fix anything. But do you really, I mean, like, are you gonna prepare your child to be a auto mechanic? And what does an auto mechanic look like in 5 years? Is this like an electric vehicle, self-driving vehicle auto mechanic, right? Or is this a carburetor, I've got bad fuel in my gas auto mechanic? That's the point I'm trying to make, is what are vehicles going to be like?
So let's build off of that, John. So you can't just give them a bunk of lumber and like tell me build a house. You got to start small. You got to start with individual skills. Like, hey, I figured out that if I blah, 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 I can do this. Oh, and using that skill, I can build another skill and another skill and another skill. So you just give them like a ladder of skills. You got to start at the first step.
But at some point they become 17, 18 years old, right?
Okay.
And their next step is to actually start supporting themselves.
Yep.
Right. And so how do you, like, let's say there's opportunity still. You still have a little bit of time to direct and mold and counsel and guide them. Let's say
Maybe
you want them, let's say that they're intellectually inclined enough to go to college, right? Where would you tell your kid to go study today?
Don't.
What's the future gonna hold such that job will be in demand?
Well, what I would say kind of on that, more to a homesteading perspective, is, as things continuously get more and more technological. I mean, I saw something today specifically on the use of extremely industrial machines that are being selectively made for this one specific job, whether that's to harvest, spinach, or harvest this or that in a very in a way that people could be doing that job by hand, but where that leads more to people trying to get away from industrial agriculture, more so into homegrown. If they were inclined to take after you and on the homestead in producing meat, producing vegetables, and other home goods you can create at home away from more industrial scale, that would kind of be, in my opinion, where there would still be that demand. Because as things progressively get more and more, computerized, all those talents that really are talents to a certain degree, that are like carpentry and things like that, more manual, jobs, are going to still be required, even in my opinion, for the next 20, 30 years, just because they can't phase it all out at one time. Yes, there are new jobs in new emerging markets, but you still have that required home maintenance for plumbing,
trade school
stuff like that. Yeah, trade school. Like, that's where I am. I am in a trade school now, a community college, doing horticulture science, which is kind of basically a catch-all for anything and everything you could pretty much do in what is considered the horticulture field before they send you off into a more specified degree program.
Well, I think you got to look at each kid individually, though. I mean, like, that's
yes.
And I know we're talking kind of big picture, but I mean, to think big picture, I mean, you got to look at each kid individually. So, like, my son, he's not athletic. Like, I was athletic, my wife was not. He's not athletic. He'd rather sit and play video games. Not blaming it on her at all. No, not at all.
I'm just joking.
Those are but those are the genes that he got, and he would rather play video games, stay inside and watch TV and read a book. Like those are his. He doesn't want to go play out in the yard and play football and soccer, and we make him play sports, play one sport a year because we want him to be at least somewhat well-rounded. But
yep,
he's not going to. Is he going to be someone that wants to be a mechanic or a plumber or a tradesman? Maybe, I don't know, but I think you kind of have to think about your kids individually and think, okay, what, based on his personality or her personality and his likes and dislikes now, like what general direction can I steer them? Give them options, because the last thing that I want to do is force my kid to do anything that he doesn't want to do.
Well,
that's not true. Sorry. That is, you have to challenge them every day.
No. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I don't want to force him into a field that he doesn't want to go into.
But is there things
That's
that you would counsel him against? For instance,
Absolutely.
There's a couple of people that I know that are pursuing degrees in education.
I would never.
I think the education field is pretty much done, especially after middle school. I don't think there's going to be a need for teachers anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be all self-taught online, be much more efficient, much more effective, et cetera, et cetera. So what other fields out there would you counsel against?
Yeah, education's a big one.
I would say this has been one for me that, because I didn't know what I was going to do after high school. I took 2 years full-time caregiver to my nana. I'm like, I don't want to touch the medical field, even personally. I don't want to go to the doctor anymore. It's all terrible.
But I would think caregivers would be a good profession when you think about it. If they're inclined in that direction, right?
Yeah,
because you got an aging boomer population.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That's
CNAs and nurses like that. They don't get paid much because it's essentially, a 1-year program or a 16-week program, and you're a licensed CNA. So they don't make much. It's not a very good career choice, in my personal opinion. But for me, I used to go outside. I was outside a ton. I didn't realize how dumb this was until later. I would go outside almost every day and go move rocks and count worms. And I kept a tally of how many I counted every day. Why? I have no idea.
Sounds awesome.
And I was like 12.
If there was only TikTok then, right?
Yeah. And so further on, I didn't really ever. I kind of got into shooting sports more so. I want to be on the computer. I want to be in my console and just kind of playing games that were really fun. But then I ended up going more so back to the soul, back to the dirt, and I wouldn't have thought I would have done that in a million years. My parents, for me, were kind of at a loss of what direction to push me. It was more so, you can achieve anything you put your mind to, but it's like, be realistic. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that? And a lot nowadays, I see with kids my age, their parents push them into something. Oh, you'll make money doing this. Yeah, you'll make money being an engineer. Do you want to be an engineer? Do you want to be a civil engineer?
But they don't know. They don't know any better.
Exactly. They don't. They really don't know. And that, in my opinion, that's a huge fault on the parents and whatever is
but if you
guidance counselor.
If you don't provide some guidance, then they can go off in some direction that is ill-advised even for themselves because they don't know it. Right?
They got to figure it out. They can't hold their hand the whole time. They have to figure it out.
Oh, you're right. They do. But you could provide a lot of counsel and guidance on things that are an option. Right?
You like
coaching
if
your
they
kid.
ask.
Yes.
I think it has. You can't just be the problem. Again, it depends on the kid. Some kids want a lot of guidance, and I am very I'm gonna figure this out on my own. Thank you. Like my parents had 20 different ideas for what I could do for this. I'm like, yeah, that sounds terrible. I don't want to do that. And I just had to figure it out on my own.
So there's something that I want to come back to is the how. How do you get these kids to start to think about and move in a direction? Jeremy, you were picking up on sort of the how, and John, you were picking up on sort of the how. It triggered my brain to think about my own life experience by being exposed to more things as a child, even if I had no clue if that was going to be my direction. But Jeremy, by you exposing your kids to sports and this kid on TikTok building cars, maybe he'll never be a mechanic, but he's worked with his hands and he can now say, I can do that. I can also learn other things. I like to put my kids in those experiences where they can be successful at a few things. And if that's the way they want to go, it'll help them. If it's not the way they want to go, it can be tangential. So like working on a car, there's procedures, there's troubleshooting can apply very well into working on a farm or working on a computer. And so just the how, as I think about it, is just to try and enrich those kid experiences. Like when I was 12 years old, I picked up model railroading and was really interested in the electronics and the components and making things like that. And so then much later in life, when I thought to myself, I might build this product, I leaned back on that childhood experience that I had, that exposure that I had to electronics, and said, I knew probably 5% of what I needed to know, but I had enough confidence in myself based on those experiences that I could get the rest. I could figure out the rest.
Okay. You made a statement I want to pick out a second. You said you picked up on model railroads.
Yeah.
So did somebody in your life like give you a model railroad to putz with?
Now John's asking you how.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is the how, right? Because you put your kid in band, you put your kid in baseball, you find out where their interests lie, right? You give them, like I bought my son a Raspberry Pi when he was 16, and just I didn't teach him how to. I don't know anything about it, right? But I said, look, it has all of this. You could do all of these things, right? And then he got into that, right? And then from getting into that, I thought, you know what? You might want to be an electrical engineer, or a computer scientist or whatever. And so
right here, like three of them.
So I guess answer that question and go ahead and play on that riff if you would.
So if I can jump in for a second here, it's for me personally, it's never just like one thing. Like, yes, I've had a Raspberry Pi and I've played with it.
Yeah.
I don't do anything with it now, but I might later. I might take whatever skills, like when I was messing around with a Raspberry Pi, might apply that to something else later. It's never like immediate like payoff.
Well, I feel like it's that jack of all trades mentality.
Yeah.
Like if you can, and that's the way that I am. I've always been good at a lot of things, but not great at anything. Like that's just always since I've been a kid. Like that's
like my shirt.
The same thing. I just want to figure it out.
Decent at a lot of things. It's not on tonight.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's just been my mentality. But that's not everyone's mentality. I have friends that they're one.
But you have a profession, though, right?
I do. Yeah.
What do you mean, my car?
And so, why did
my profession? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just thinking that transition from whenever you were, 18 years old. At some point, you decided, I'm going to pursue this endeavor as a profession.
But I didn't.
I was going to say that is so like Gen X boomer mentality.
So all right, so here let me tell you my story real quick, and
maybe it is.
But like, so I went, graduated high school, went straight into college like everyone else, and I was doing some freelance work with a production company, making like business commercial videos, and then the company that I was working with now makes like feature length movies, but on the side they worked with production like ESPN, and so I got a gig to go to the Super Bowl and work the Super Bowl, and I made like $600 as a 19-year-old at the Super Bowl, and for a week, and I came back and was like, I don't need college, I want to do this, and so I got into traveling with ESPN and other sports networks, and I made good money, but I traveled and I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And then I started working with my dad doing graphic design work, and I worked there for like 8 years with him. And then I saw the writing on the wall and I got out and just tried to get a job somewhere. Actually, in between there, I started my own website company doing web design, and I didn't like that. And then I just got a job at a healthcare company as a file clerk because I needed a paycheck. And that turned into being a marketing coordinator, which was then director of business development, which then transitioned into the company I work for now as underwriting manager and then VP of underwriting. It's just been this stepping stone all the way up. And there's never in my career have I said I want to get to underwriting, health insurance underwriting.
Yep.
But here I am, and but like as a kid in school, heck no, man. But that mentality of I'll figure it out, I'll be good at a lot of things, and I'll try a lot of things has gotten me to where I am today. So like I don't know but it's different for everyone.
Yeah, let's circle back to Christopher about the trains.
Well, I remember there was my cousin and a friend of the family. They had these really neat train layouts, and it just fascinated me just watching them doing the switching and the moving and moving loads around and building the models and things like that. I just love that. So I used to, in fact, I would bug my dad to take me downtown every Friday night because there was a club downtown where they had this enormous, big layout. And I became a member of that club, 12 years old, and just saw that we could do something with electronics, and saw that I could. So I started to pick up those skills and started to play with that. And my point about that, and bringing up my personal experiences, this kid Cole Summers and this kid with the building the car.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great that they're doing it so early, but it doesn't have to be early. We can see off into the future and throw that football down the road and assume that by enriching their lives today, that at some point that will help them in the future, even if it's not when they're 14 years old and on Twitter.
If I can read,
let a kid be a kid.
Yeah.
If I can read the last paragraph of the first chapter of Cole Summers' book. So I listened to the audiobook today just for this episode. It may not work for every kid. We all have different situations and abilities, but most of the kids I know are capable of so much more than what adults will let them do. How are they to know what they can do if they're never allowed to try?
Yeah. Helicopter parents are ruining our nation.
So like my
I'll
son,
say...
he's 3. Like he asked me to do stuff for him, and he asked everybody to do stuff for him. I just look at him like, you can do it. Go ahead and try and do it. Like, if you spill a gallon of milk on the floor, we'll clean it up.
Yeah.
Like, but you're gonna try to do this. And so like that's what I mean when I said earlier, like you gotta challenge them, you gotta push them, like
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
What I'll say is from probably being the most recent person out there who is, you can't go pick up a job, at those young ages anymore. Yes, I mean, 14, 15, you really can't go out and do anything to help you build and learn that. And if your parents won't let you if they won't foster that in your own home, like how are you gonna learn to work on a vehicle if there's no, scrap vehicle in your yard? There's a whole lot of restrictions placed on young people nowadays to solely focus on traditional education in a brick and mortar school, or if you're invalidated, quite frankly. I was homeschooled from middle school to high school to graduation. Got into college early and all that, but kind of even people in their 30s and one of the things, homeschool kids, they're the weird kids. I'm like, well, anytime I was ever over, at my friends' houses, I never really talked to my friends. I always talked to my parents at birthday parties. I always talked to the kids' parents because, you can have young kids who are capable of doing and learning and holding themselves as adults, but like that last quote said, they're not really given those opportunities like Gen X were in like the 80s when they were 15 and 16 in the 80s, like my parents were. My dad got a paper out at 13 on his bicycle. I wouldn't be allowed to do that.
I was working in a restaurant when I was 15, and never stopped since. But yeah.
And there are very few places that will even allow a 15-year-old. And then if they do, they don't. They, in my opinion, they won't pay them proper wages. They'll be like, oh, you'll get this. But I mean, it's like,
minimum wage,
even sometimes less than minimum wage.
Is that
In the restaurant
well?
business,
That's a whole nother topic. We'll table that one.
Well, yeah.
If minimum wage is even warranted, so
I don't think we should even have one.
I was gonna say 0 is the floor.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
I agree.
So there's a gal that lives down on the corner, a couple hundred yards from our house. She's 13, and because she's so close, I've employed her to do some chores around here. And she's a good hard worker and very reliable, etc. And so yeah, I pay her $10 an hour, just to. I mean, I'd have to pay somebody else to do that work, but I think it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, for a 13-year-old, $10 an hour, doing a job that builds them confidence early, and that may be. There's a lot of problem. I specifically had this issue was confidence in yourself to complete something. I
wouldn't pay my step granddaughter $13 an hour to do it because I had her doing it for a while. No offense, Kira. But yeah, I mean, just didn't have the same level of motivation and responsibility. And
well, like we said, like it's all individualist, right?
Yeah.
So like the neighbor girl that watches my chickens when we're out of town, like I redid my system just so like she has to do less work. Well, like so that we have to do less work too, but like things will.
You idiot proofed it.
Basically, yes. But I wouldn't have to do that if she showed like an interest or like aptitude in like in livestock management or whatever. Like I basically was like, don't let the water go dry. Make sure there's feed in here. Collect the eggs. The end.
The end.
But see, like I took the opposite approach and said, I'm just gonna make it so that I don't have to rely on anybody because I don't trust.
Yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
So I want to speak back to what Grant was saying a minute ago about building confidence.
Yeah.
And so like
I'll just go ahead and finish kind of my train of thought. Is for me personally, I destroyed my own confidence through school. I went into high school with a 4.0 GPA, managed, and then I left with 1.7. Even though I managed to get into college early, and I didn't do. I quite simply didn't do the work even before or after, and that I shot myself in the foot because then I lost a lot of that confidence in myself. I know I can do this. I've done it before, without second guessing myself with what the end result would have been, and I kind of built that up back by just going out, picking up projects and doing something. And now I can pretty much go pick up whatever and then feel confident that I can finish whatever task I need to. And without being able, I think kids now younger than me probably have that same thing because they're not allowed to experience, I would say troubles that they have to then solve. So they know they can solve it themselves.
And Grant, I want to take this opportunity to say, man, you're one of, if not the most impressive 20-something I know.
I agree.
I appreciate that. Thank
you.
As
much shit as we give you, yeah.
So what's funny to me? What's funny is you said in this email, Matt, young men that have gotten it right, and I've started I read that last week, and I thought, well, there's Grant. And I was like,
I was gonna write in there, Grant. You can't nominate
for
yourself.
Me, I was gonna because he said come with examples, and I was gonna jokingly bring a TikTok, but for me, I personally don't see because I see everything around me every day, and I don't exactly see it in my opinion as impressive because I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, you don't have what to compare it to.
And so I have a lot. Quite a few people who are in y'all's age group that say, man, you're doing great. And I wish I was where you are right now. And I'm like, and this is also kind of part of waiting to get this property I've been struggling with. I need to be happy with where I am right now, which I am. I can walk around and just look at everything and get joy from seeing everything I have done, specifically when it's in bloom and alive with coming to the flowers I've planted. But it's you know, I'm in what could be considered the horticulture industry in the field. You know, a homesteading, in my opinion, would be a subsect of that, you know, in a way. But it's like I haven't really accomplished much to be getting such compliments as you've given.
You're on the right path.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to what I was saying a minute ago before Grant.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. I'm just messing with you. On building confidence. So I had this happen a couple. Huh?
Grant went dark for some reason. All of a sudden.
What?
So
my
a
face?
couple months ago. So my son's about to turn 10, and like there's that age where it's like you still kind of do a lot of things for your kids because well they're kids and they can't do them yet, and it's working in the yard or cutting the grass. And my son started cutting the grass recently, but this has been in the last couple of months where he was at his cousin's house and he'd been over there helping them out in the yard doing some stuff, and then I go pick him up and come back home. We got to get some stuff out of the truck, and the tailgate on my truck's pretty heavy, and it was heavy enough that I was like, he can't lift it up. We pulled the stuff out, and I started to close it, and he goes, "No, I got this," and he closed it, and I'm like, and he struggled, and I started to step in, and I'm like, "Nope, let him do it."
Yep.
And he did, man. He got him on stuff, but like you could just like see that confidence boost. And so, so back to that stuff, like step back. And it's difficult because
next time he does it with one finger, just
I know.
And what I'll say to that is, when it comes to those confidence boosts, it's really anything small. That's why
it is.
I guess kind of gardening took so much with me. Is like, my goal is to be a small scale commercial market garden, is because you get those wins constantly every time you pick a tomato or harvest fruit from any vegetable you planted. That is there's an achievement there, right there is a confidence.
But also every time that you end up having a pest or disease that kills a crop, it can deflate you as well. So you got to take the losses with the wins.
Yeah, there are a lot of losses, and like John had mentioned, their partner farm, losing livestock is always difficult because it's like you are responsible for them. So what should I have done better to prevent that? If it's something that could have been prevented, is it something that you should have been on top of better? And that also comes with, and you have to learn from that and then do better.
Wise words.
And you're on a path to in 5-10 years just be an absolute rock star. So keep on going. That's what people are impressed with. Maybe it's some project that you're doing that's hit them right, but the big thing is we see you're gung ho and about going the right direction.
When my dad was on the podcast, he thought Grant was like 30.
I looked that old. Come on.
I don't even think you were. It was your profile picture.
Oh.
But yeah, you just gotta keep pushing them outside the boundaries. You have to let them try everything, even if they're gonna break everything and like every bone in their body. Like, oh man.
Well, I mean, I might not push them that far.
Who?
Don't push him off a cliff now, Matt.
Who was I talking to? Oh, it was Buffalo guy Ron. I had an interview recently where his nephew is trying to become like a bull rider at like 14 or something like that, and like got to get it out of his system. He's not. I don't think he said he was terribly good at it. I don't remember, but he's like
he's either going to get good at it or he's going to give up.
That's right.
Do you guys follow Jacob Wolke at all on?
Yeah, I love that guy.
So you see his kids and what they do.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Otto is like, he's a force of his own.
So
who's this Jacob? What?
Jake Wolke. We did like an hour and a half interview with him.
Oh, you did?
So, yep.
I'll have to go
Number 40 something. Yeah, so he's got 2 boys and just had a baby girl. Yeah, and his kid, like he's very deliberate in how like he raises his kids. It's not very like it seems like he has like a lot of structure in rules for how he does things, which I guess is good. It's not just like everything's off the cuff, but you know, I remember him telling a story about when I think it was Otto, when he turned 3, he gave him a knife. He's like, this is what this means. This is what it can do. Here's how we use it. And so like 3-year-old had a pocket knife.
That's very early. I mean, I would think at least 5. But again, if you introduce them to something as like a knife at 3 years old, at 5 and 6, you can show them how to properly use a firearm.
When my kid gets slivers in his foot, I give him a little like Leatherman knife or whatever, and he digs the slivers out of his feet because he hates it when I do it.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Like I just squeeze his foot, just like stop kicking me.
It's
So I think kind of. Go ahead, Grant.
I was just gonna say it's very easy to remove splinters from your own foot than have somebody do it for you, because you're like, no, you're clipping in the wrong spot. Please stop.
Yep.
That hurts. Then you kind of know it, feel it for yourself.
Yeah. So hey, if he wants to get his own splinters out of his feet, good for him. Then he'll figure out how to do it.
To kind of bring it full circle, I think, how do you raise a kid to be successful? And I think just you really have to let them live and try and do things, because if you do everything for them,
what
never
a
figure
future
anything out.
man has said. Long story for him. I remember one of the episodes he was on. He hadn't pretty much said something to the fact that at a certain point they are their own individual person, and you have to kind of instill them enough, a little bit of everything. But when it comes to more, I would say, I think that time we were specifically talking about politics, is you can only instill so much into them, and then they'll take that, interpret it, and then once they get into the real world, how they'll be able to hold those ideals is it's up to them, honestly. And so you can't really force them to do anything. You can give them opinions and hopefully guide them in the right direction. The one thing I was told by my chiropractor is every 10 years, essentially, you can change your life. Every 10 years, you could, if you don't make it, when you're younger, you always have that chance of making it when you're older, because pretty much a 10-year cycle, you can change a lot in a 10-year cycle and almost reinvent yourself.
So like to circle back on something John said, like John and like Jeremy. So like John was talking about, when you're 18, you decided to blah, blah, blah. And Jeremy's like, no, I actually went through all these different jobs. Like that was me. Like if I added them all up, I probably had 20 jobs by, I'm 33. I'm probably going to have another 10 before I die.
And that's good.
I change jobs every 3 years, but they all build on the same concepts, basically leveraging. Well, they're anyway.
Were you in the same industry?
No. So was I in the same ministry? Is that what you said?
In industry.
Industry. Well, I was a soldier for a while, right? And so every 3 years I moved, and you get promoted and you do different things about every year and a half. And then I currently work for General Electric and have for 7 years, but throughout the entire business, in lots of different segments. But anyway, I guess let me just relate an experience, and this may be, we're running out of time, but I got 3 kids. They're all about you guys' age. I guess the oldest is 30. And so, like, my daughter had an interest in animals, right? And so she thought she wanted to be a veterinarian. And so we got her a gig when she was in high school, working for a veterinarian, and she got her vet tech certification. And then she went to college to be a veterinarian, and then she decided that she didn't want to be a veterinarian. Actually, she went to the opening presentation and decided that that's not what she wanted to do. And then through her own choice, went into microbiology, and now she's an epidemiologist. And so I think in my other son, I already mentioned, I gave him a Raspberry Pi. He went into the Army. He wanted to be a soldier, and he's an electrical engineer with the Army. He's in the Engineer Corps. And then my
Nice.
oldest one was really aimless, and he was very mechanically inclined. He
You said that was the oldest, or the
he's the middle boy. My
Middle,
oldest
got it.
one though is he was very mechanically inclined and always like taking things apart and fixing them throughout his youth. But he was very he wasn't good academically, and so
sounds like me.
when he graduated high school, I told him like look, you're 18, you're leaving, you can go and do something, or you can join the military. And I thought that was actually a good pursuit for him to join the military and establish some discipline and direction, and also learn some skills. So he went in as a gas turbine mechanic, got out, was a millwright for a little while, ended up going to Lincoln Technical College, and now he's a CNC machinist. Which I think, again, all of these things built on one another, right? So it wasn't they're not all the same path, but I think it's kind of prudent to help guide those steps towards their inclination and point them in the right direction, so that at least they don't squander 10 years in trying to do it again in another direction, because you lose a lot of momentum if you do change like that frequently.
Yes and no. Yeah, I know we're going over time. I don't know if you guys have places to be. I have nowhere to be. This is what I'm doing.
Bed.
So, bed.
Yeah, I don't have school tomorrow. I've got to be a pallbearer.
Well, that's unfortunate.
We're going to talk about that in just a second. Probably after. So, the reason I have the job that I do now is because of all the different experiences that I had before. So, like, everybody, with one exception that I work with, all has a degree, and that's relevant to the industry that I'm in. I don't know jack. I didn't know jack about this industry, and so like they brought me in because they needed somebody that could do stuff with their hands. So I'm like telling them, hey, this can work. This doesn't work. The way you're doing this is fine. Need a little modification. Over, like, we can do this thing over here. So, like, again, the skills build on each other. That, like, so to bring it all the way back, like, how do you prepare your kids for the future? You just give them a broad range of skills so that they can take on anything that gets handed to them.
One thing my teacher told me, my 78-year-old teacher, is he encouraged his students to go out and get 3 new jobs after you graduate, whatever, high school, college, whatever, and change every year. Get a new job once a year, just to kind of go out, broaden yourself, and be open to different things and learn different things and kind of figure out where you want to be. I guess that would be the reason for that, and that's kind of pretty much what you had. All of y'all have kind of suggested is go out and see what's available. See where you fit in. You know, I've only worked maybe 2 jobs, and when it was fast food, awful, terrible. I hated it. And then I worked in a package company. You know, bags of chips and like Keebler crackers, the plastic wrap that goes in. They print it, wrap it, put the foil on it, and then put the plastic on it in this place. And I would work there. I cut cardboard tubes. They were 6-foot cardboard poles, about that big around, and I would cut them into maybe 21 3/4 for these rolls. And they'd roll these rolls. They'd be 80 pounds a piece, and then someone would take them, stack them on pallets. And I hated that too. and that kind of enforced me. I'm like, I can't. So many people spent 30 years at this place, and it's like creating
some people are
packaging
just
for the
content,
food.
though.
I know, but see, the thing is, these people they're not content. They're miserable. They're
Tented
kinda-
misery.
they're miserable in their soul. Like they're not happy.
Complacent. Yeah.
And
There you go.
they made a product to package foods that I despise. Because when these go through, you see they make the package that the Rice Krispies get wrapped in. I'm reading this. I'm like, all this is being made for food I despise, and hopefully we'll be able to produce for my food that is the complete opposite of this for myself one day. And it kind of just reaffirmed me in that. And then I've done some odd jobs here or there that I can't talk about.
So you're trying to do your own business because for multitude of reasons, but
Yeah.
You hate working for other people as well. We talked about this a lot.
Yeah, that has become really it. I don't do most places. When it gets into it, management for the most part in a lot of places is stupid. They don't understand the product. They don't understand the work floor. There's so much disconnect between management and the workers that everybody can see. It's like this doesn't make any sense, and it usually always comes down to corporate. And this is the way it's been done. This way it's always been done. This is the way we're going to do it. Like my girlfriend works for Pike Distribution Center, and it's so inefficient. There's so much waste. They fertilize their crops every single day. Every time it gets watered, it pretty much gets fertilized, which it grows very quick and very fast and gets too big. You don't really want it to get too big before it gets shipped out, because then you have to cut it back by about 60%. That's very inefficient. It's very wasteful. And so, yeah, but then anyway.
So it brings up another point. So should we be encouraging kids to start their own business?
Yes,
at least be
absolutely.
some sort of an entrepreneur in something.
Yeah.
Even if you completely suck at it, if you fail, look at what you learned.
Have them
I think
have
it's
them
good to
create
fail
a
as long
product
as you
and
learn
try
from
to
that
sell
failure.
Yeah.
Whether it be, you trying to establish, if they like to bake, try to talk them into baking bread or cakes or pastries, and then try to help them sell that through your family, your colleagues, because that's an untapped market, in my opinion, is your colleagues at work. You work with these people, you work, a new job every 3 years. You've met these people. They'd be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Would you want to, and then kind of introduce your kid who's trying to do something into this, or just have them start a lemonade stand.
Most farmers markets offer up a kidropreneur program, so your kids can go there and sell for free.
Yeah,
and that's good exposure to, them with other people, interacting with adults, trying to market their product, understanding their costs, and there's all that stuff.
How to speak, how to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Especially if they're shy.
My plant man, our permaculture plant man, my wife arranged with him for my middle son to help him out to sort of apprentice. And she's watching the show tonight. She was suggesting to me that I mentioned to you to think about apprenticeship for kids. It's an old way of doing things, and it doesn't necessarily have to die. It's a good way to pick up.
I've said that before, that I have a limit to what I know how to do and what my interests are. I'm not really that into cars. I can change oil and tires. I really don't care to.
Yeah.
And if my kid wants to wrench on a motor, go down the street, go find somebody that knows how to do that stuff and just watch them or see what they can teach you.
Get them a banged up lawnmower. Get them a banged up 4-wheeler.
Or a generator that won't run.
I was going to say Chris's generator.
Come over to my place.
Go get him a busted up chainsaw, and then have him fix the chainsaw. And then once he's fixed it, show him how to properly use it.
Yep. Exactly. Just like, so like we have like this little like, it's so stupid. It's a little Cocomelon piano.
So what?
It's what doesn't matter. It's a little piano. It's a little electronic piano. And so like, just to see if my kids were like interested in the piano, I learned just a couple songs, like a Beethoven song, Jurassic Park theme song, and like the Titanic theme song, just like dumb like little chords. Actually, I tried to learn Star Wars, but the range of keys isn't big enough. It's like, this doesn't work. And so, but like he's not terribly into it. I'm gonna just kind of keep bringing it around to see if he picks up on it, like other musical instruments and stuff. But that's what you got to do. Like you can't be pushy. You gotta like I've tried to teach him like this key, then this key. They're like take his fingers and do that kind of thing and see if he likes it. And
but like we made my son do a so like he plays basketball. So he started playing soccer. I coached him and he liked it, and then he played basketball, and then he decided he liked basketball better than soccer. So I'm like, that's fine, I do too. So let's play basketball. But then like he's done like basketball camps to get better at it. But then they did something at our church that was a like a music camp or arts camp, and they did drawing, art, music. So like you took turns like trying all of these different instruments and artistic skills. And again, it was like, hey, you're gonna do this just because I don't have a piano, I don't have a violin, I've got a guitar, but like there's a lot of these things that I don't have. And for a week, you can go and you can try all these things and see if you like them. He's like, I kind of like the violin, and I'm like, well, maybe you should ask for one for Christmas. Like but then like, you just gotta try it, man.
Yep,
you don't know if you like it. You don't know if you like it until you try it.
All right, fellas, I gotta go.
All right, thanks, John.
Yep, appreciate the chat.
See you, John.
Seeing you.
You guys want to keep rolling, or do you want to wrap up?
I don't care.
I feel like we can wrap up.
Yeah,
we can wrap up. Then if Grant says we can wrap up.
All right, we got Grant's blessing to wrap up.
I mean,
right,
we can start another episode right now. I'm ready.
No,
I'm ready for bed.
Mr. Fatigue.
Yeah.
Thanks. This cat's wanted my attention all night long.
All right.
This one has been biting me all night long.
We can't see it. There we go. Biting you. So that was John, Amber Oaks Ranch. I'll do his plug for him. AmberOaksRanch.com probably. I forget. Anyways, let's go, Christopher. Do your plug.
Yeah. So working on a coop door opener with phone notifications. Let you know when the coop's open and closed. It's currently in beta testing and trying to wrap that up pretty soon. And get on the mailing list, and I'll get you updates about when I've got to the next stage. And there's a coupon there. There is an ebook at the website, and there's a coupon below, so you can combine those together. And this is going to eventually turn into an entire backyard suite. But right now, I'm just trying to get the chicken coop nailed down. So
nice, excellent. Yep. And Jeremy.
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Do we like donuts?
If I didn't have that banner up, would you even know what to say?
because I'm sitting here going, I'm debating on, do I just come back at Chris for me like, or you could just put an IP camera up in your chicken coop and check to see if your chicken coop door is closed, like I can right here.
I'm
chickens.
Your banner.
Oh crap! Chickens, homesteading, prepping, gardening, all that good stuff, and whatever he's about.
And whatever.
And whatever.
So
whatever.
You're so enthusiastic about it.
Yep.
Oops. I'm just messing around with the banner.
Take your time, man.
TikTok 250,000 followers.
No mention of Twitter.
Oh, hold on. I just checked. It's down. You're now at 249,000.
240.
500. There, it just went down 500 followers. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Man, that's so weird. You should probably fix that.
You have
Probably
250,000 YouTube followers.
No, I
TikTok. No, I screwed that up. I meant to take that one off.
I've got 13,500.
That's
All right.
good, dude. I don't know how much you can convert into long form, but
All
that's
right, Grant,
good.
go ahead. Stop talking about Jeremy.
Listen. I have been posting TikToks more. I will continue to post more TikToks as I lead my campaign against Parks at the Ducks. Wait, Ducks at the Park. Sorry.
Oh, dude, yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I've got a meme for that.
There are two specifically that I'm going to get. One of them I've already picked up and held. It shit on me. I held it for like 5-10 minutes, and then I was feeding it like a bunch of crackers, and then we're here, and I'm like, it just shit all over me. It was awful. So I'm gonna go get those two. I'm gonna do a video on that. There's some, I'm just gonna kind of here and there try to, one of these has to go viral. I mean, I'm a dumbass taking ducks from the park, so.
That or you're gonna get taken down.
I mean, maybe.
You're gonna get
Don't give a duck a park.
Grant, don't give a duck. Take a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be your slogan.
No ducks
I
given.
Give a duck, take a duck.
I was like, I don't give a duck.
Yeah.
No ducks given. There you go.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah,
Gotta be your slogan. Yep.
Man,
Hit the
that's
cat.
Yes.
Just do the live stream. Taking ducks from the park. That's awesome.
I don't know about live streaming. I'd rather just do videos of me getting there, walking to them, pausing it, and then I just got sent that today. Someone takes it.
Therapist, you need to stop doing weird things. Going out might help. Me, I went to the park today. Therapist, there you go. I hope that got you something from that. Me, opens coat. This duck.
Yeah.
Good.
If it's not raining tomorrow morning, I will probably be at the park. I've got to drop the cat off to get neutered, and then I'm gonna hit the park. See what I can see. I just want to get
totally live stream it.
See, I would need to have some way to fixture it to me to live stream it properly, unless I just have this in my hand.
Duct tape.
I was gonna say command strip.
I have this, so I don't know. I can hold this and go. It's gonna be
Jeremy, you got
shit.
nice real estate to do that to your.
Uh,
All right. I am Matt DeRozier, farmhoplife.com. I do this podcast. I do interviews. I released what is it? A famous. I'm really screwing this up. I need to edit my banner so I know what to say. A famous farmers podcast series, and one got released today. It was about Alan Savory. So if you want to learn about Alan Savory, check that out. It's only like 6 minutes long, 8 minutes long, something like that. And I don't know what we're talking about next week or the week after, whenever we do these anymore. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you everybody for listening.
See ya.
See you.